And now for a new segment on Speaking of Spirits. Jesse and I have been working on a road trip series where we talk about the history and hauntings of towns across America. Enjoy.
Hey everybody, this is SOS, and we're with my co-host,
Messy Jessie, and guess what?
woohoo! And this time on Asphalt Encounters for the Nightmare Roadshow. Where are we headed?
We are headed to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. I want to say
You said it right.
Bethlehem,
I
but it's
know.
Bethlehem. we're heading to the great state of PA.
I lived real close to it for 5 years in Pennsylvania. Very close to Bethlehem. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
anyway, I hear it's really pretty this time of year too. So
very pretty. I almost bought a house there.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, anyway, yeah, so we're headed to Bethlehem, and it's a city in the Northampton and Lehigh counties, and Lehigh Valley region of eastern Pennsylvania, United States. The total population is about 76,000, making it the second largest city in the Lehigh Valley. After Allentown. Oh my gosh. So when I heard of Allentown, sidetrack just for a second with Messy Jessie here. Every time I hear Allentown, I think of like the Hangover, and we're living here in Allentown.
Right?
Anyway. Okay, we're going to go back to PA now. So it is located along the Lehigh River, which is about 109-mile long tributary of the Delaware River, if anybody knows. Bethlehem lies in the geographic center of Lehigh County Valley, which is like a valley, kind of like where we live in a valley. It's like, and just a lot of boring stuff.
What? Oh my god.
I mean, it's next to a river, not a lot of, things to go through. I don't want to know. I don't know. There's just a lot. Anyway, I lost sidetracked again. Allentown. The 4 sections to the city they have is Central Bethlehem, the side south, and the east side, and the west side. So you can definitely go there and go, I'm from the east side or the west side, whatever you want to say. Each of these sections have blossomed at different times in the city's development, and each contains areas recognized under the National Register of Historical Places, North Fork Southern Railway, Lehigh Line, say that fast, and then formerly the main line of the Lehigh Valley Railroad. This runs through the city, heading east to the Easton and across the Delaware River to, Phillipsburg and New Jersey. I thought that was pretty interesting. Yeah. And then the North Fork Southern Railway reading line runs through Bethlehem and west to Allentown. So obviously the railroad is huge around here. From what I understand, Bethlehem has a long historical relationship with celebration of Christmas. The city was christened as Bethlehem on Christmas Eve in 1741 by Nicholas Zinzendorf. I could be saying that wrong.
Common spelling on that name.
Yeah, not very common. He was a bishop. In 1747, the city was the first U.S. city to feature a decorated Christmas tree on the December 7th of 1937. At a grand ceremony during the Great Depression, the city adopted the nickname Christmas City, USA in the large ceremony. It is one of the several Lehigh Valley locations, including Egypt, Emmaus, Jordan Creek, and Nazareth, whose names were inspired by the locations in the Bible. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yep, I almost bought a house in the Nazareth. Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
It's like your Christmas town. Um,
Yeah.
the history. So the settlement prior to the Europeans, of course, the areas were around, present day Bethlehem had been surrounded by locals along the Delaware River. Tributaries, eastern Pennsylvania were inhabited by various indigenous people, including the, okay, sorry guys, Algonquin speaking Lenape. Algonquin speaking Lenape.
Lenape, maybe? Lenape?
Perfect. That's probably what it is.
I'm thinking.
That is
It's
why you
Lenape,
are who
but I'm
you
not
are,
sure.
because you can pronounce things.
I think, but I could be wrong on that one. I remember that name.
Yeah, well, which had three main divisions of these people, known as the dialects, the Yernami, and God, I'm sorry, Unalachtago, and Amunisi.
Okay. I don't know.
I tried.
You did.
They traded with the Dutch and the British colonists in the mid-Atlantic region and the present-day Connecticut, Delaware, Long Island, Maryland, New Jersey, and the lower Hudson Valley in New York, and other regions of Pennsylvania. So we're going to get into kind of the 18th century a little bit. So in 1741, William Allen, he was a wealthy Philadelphia merchant and political figure who later founded the city of Allentown, deeded 500 acres along with the banks of Monocacy Creek and Lehigh River to a church. And then on Christmas Eve of that year, David Nitschesman and Nicholas Zenzendorf led a small group of these people founded a mission along the community. And so, yeah, they established missionary communities along for the Native Americans and unchurched German-speaking Christians, and named the settlement after a biblical town of Bethlehem of Judah. And so, yeah, so it's said to be the birthplace of Jesus, Count Zinzendorf said. I think I like this guy's name. I'm starting to say it very well. He said, Zinzendorf said, brothers, how more fitting could we call our home than to name it in honor of the spot where we event now commemorate took place. We call this place Bethlehem, and so Bethlehem was named after the birthplace of Man of Peace.
Huh.
A lot of church. Yeah.
Yeah.
We had in autumn of 1777 during the American Revolutionary War, many patriots fled from Philadelphia to Bethlehem and the surrounding area as the British Army advanced from the east. And then Marcus de Lafayette recovered from an injury received at the Battle of Brandywine in Bethlehem. And several of the prominent members of the Continental Congress fled north to Bethlehem before the Congress eventually reconvened in Lancaster. So there was a lot of, our fathers who, created America and the United States who, set not roots in Bethlehem, but that's kind of where they fled to, where they felt safe.
Yeah.
There's a lot of visiting, like George Washington and his wife Martha, Alexander Hamilton, Benjamin Franklin, John Adams, Samuel Adams, great beer, and John Hancock. And Marcus
Especially the Oktoberfest.
Yes, this is the best time to go to, from what I understand, reading some of the stuff to do. So, and yeah, so there's a lot of people that came over there, was very crucial to the United States. Yeah, and a lot of it just goes, economically, they have the steel mill or the steel building, and its smokestacks have been preserved. So there was also the Wind Creek Bethlehem, a casino that opened in 2009 on the former grounds of the steel mill that's no longer there.
Cool.
And then, yeah, so they became like the center heavy industry of trade during the Industrial Revolution, too. Bethlehem Steel went from 1857 to 2003. So that was a long time for that steel mill to be there.
Yeah.
They helped build a lot of the warships that were used in World War II. That was pretty interesting. And then we have the Wind Creek Bethlehem, and it's in December of 2006, Las Vegas Sandcorp was awarded a Category 2 slot machine license by the Pennsylvania Gaming Control Board, which I thought was interesting. The LVSC began to work on the site and then categorized both the largest brownfield redevelopment project in the nation and the largest casino development. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, what did you find to do there in?
There's a lot of stuff. It's the National Museum of Industrial History is located there, and I think that would be actually really cool to go through. It's located inside the now abandoned electrical repair shop for Bethlehem Steel. It offers like an overview of different industries that shape the Lehigh Valley and the surrounding region, and the steelmaking history, as well as silk and propane industries. And I do remember also that there were a lot of, I want to say, like ceramic tile places around this area too. Like they made old tiles and whatnot. There's my page just went away. There we go. The museum also showcases giant engines that were designed for the 1876 Centennial Exposition in Philadelphia.
This kind of reminds me of like steampunk.
Yeah.
Like I wonder if this was maybe one of the birthplaces of steampunk.
I wonder. I don't know where that came from. That's kind of interesting. Christmas market. You talked about the Christmas, like a lot of stuff here because of the name. It's known as Christmas City. So there's a lot of things to do during the holiday season. And sorry about my dog chewing on a freaking hoof while we're recording. I don't know if you can hear him. He's chomping away. One of the highlights is like these Christmas markets that can be found throughout the city. And I do remember going up there for Christmas shopping. It's very cool. Let's see. And then there's America on Wheels. It's a great museum dedicated to the transportation history of the region. So it's just about 5 miles from Bethlehem. And it's, focuses on over-the-road transportation through the country. So it was really the car industry. And they have like a gas-powered car that was built in 1889. It was one of the first gas-powered cars ever constructed. And they have Mack trucks and all kinds of stuff like that. So if you're a motorhead, you'd probably really like it.
Do you like Mack taps? So my dad
Hoover Mason Trestle, which is a trestle. The Hoover Mason Trestle is an elevated train track that's been turned into a walking path along the stacks. And I'm not sure, but I think that track showed up in a movie about an out-of-control train. The movie was it filmed in
like the one with Denzel Washington in it?
I think so.
I think it was called Runaway Train.
Oh, thank you. There you go. Duh.
It was an amazing movie.
I think this trestle played a big part of it towards the end of the movie. Mm-hmm. Was this raised trestle that came around. You could see the Lehigh River in the back. I am pretty sure that, I'm probably wrong. But anyway, I think it was. And then this is cool. I've been here. It's called the Crayola Experience.
What?
And it's yes, because this is where Crayolas were made.
Oh.
So it's not a factory tour, but there's like an interactive destination, and it's really cool. Like you can make a variety of, you can use different color additives to make your own Crayola colors and stuff when you're there.
Oh my gosh.
It's fun. It's really fun. So it's not just
I
for
would make
kids.
a goth crayon.
A goth crayon. It's not black.
Yes. I mean,
Just call
it's
it
all
goth.
shades of black.
There you go. And then there's the historic hotel Bethlehem. A lot of people have been there, go there. They stay there still. It was built 1922 by Charles Schwab, and it's hosted different presidents. People love it. They go in the lobby and have a drink. And then
fun
you
city.
have, which I love, right? Because I love baseball, and so you have the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. So that's their
Yes.
the name of their, yes. So if you don't know what a pig is when they're talking about this, you pig, well, I don't know if that's what this means, but an iron pig is when you have to pig a line, like say a natural gas line or a propane line where they're
Mhm.
pushing a lot of amounts of gas through a line. They pig it every 12 hours to keep it's something that fits just inside the pipe. So it's being pushed by the gas and it's keeping any additives from being built up inside that line. So it's being pushed through. It's called pigging the line. I always thought that was really cool. So anyway, they have that baseball team, and then they have, of course, one of my favorites, the Fegley Brew Works. It's a Lehigh Valley brewery. They have one in
Let's go.
Allentown. What's that?
Let's go.
Yeah. They have one in Lehigh Valley in Allentown and one in Bethlehem. And on Bethlehem, it's located right along Main Street. And they said it's in a great historic building. Kind of reminds me when I looked at it, or like our Gate City Coffee down in Pocatello. It's pretty cool. Anyway. And then as far as reviews, people really like it. Most people really like it. I didn't find hardly any bad reviews of the town. They love the shopping. They love Main Street. They think it's, and it is beautiful there. It is absolutely gorgeous there.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, people like that it's in the valley. It's really scenic. There's the beautiful river, a lot of fishing. It's just kind of pretty cool. There's a music fest there. There's the colonial, industrial quarter. There's just all kinds of stuff there. I think it's just really picturesque.
Yeah, and I think culturally too, I was reading a little bit that there is like some Roman Chile gypsies that live around there too.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah, I was reading about that. I think just a very small band of them.
That's cool.
And it was pretty interesting to read about how they, survive and stuff. I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you find on the paranormal?
Oh my God, I found so much. So I was looking at the hauntings and I picked a few that I thought would be pretty cool to talk about. So you mentioned the Sun Inn, and it's like in 1758, the Moravian Sun Inn. So this is located on the Main Street in historical downtown. The Sun Inn is a restoration of the 1758 building, which was functioned as an inn in Bethlehem. And from 1760 to the late 1960s, the Sun Inn's historical people that came to visit, we have Benjamin Franklin, Martha Washington and George Washington, John Adams and Samuel Adams, Ethan Allen, Henry Laurens, and Richard Lee, and Marcus D. Lafayette, and many others. I like saying his name. It's also part of the big, historical site. Some believe that there is a lady, or she was part of the Preservation Association founder. Her name was Huetta Bender. So she put her heart and soul into this place and saving historical sites all over Main Street. And some believe that her soul still remains there at the 1758 hotel. There's been reports of a group that was investigating, and it appears that there was a woman in their picture in the second floor window. It looks like she had like gray hair, glasses, and was wearing a white apron. And everybody, when they seen her, they're like, "Oh, that's Huletta." And yeah, so ever since then, everybody's like, "Yep, that's her." She always wore a white apron all the time.
Cool.
Yeah, so everybody was pretty, like, this is pretty cool. And then, the place, it's very active. When the paranormal group went room to room, asking if there were any spirits in the inn, they asked about Elizabeth Moore. She was a nurse that died in 1897 at the inn. And they said that when they asked, someone responded with more, and they were like, "Oh my gosh!" And this came through like a spirit box, so it was pretty cool.
Wow.
The other, yeah. So there's a lot of like spiritual, obviously intelligent haunts, and a lot of spirits, a lot of voices. You get them there at the 1758.
Nice.
Now we're going to talk about the historical Hotel Bethlehem. You'll meet one of the friendliest ghosts from what I was reading, that has lived in that hotel for decades. Plus, you can uncover the identity of the mysterious ghost who resides in room 932.
Wow.
Yeah. So President John F. Kennedy was shaking hands with supporters outside this hotel, and in like a photo, you can search it, and it dates back all the way to 1921. This hotel, even though the name periodically has changed, the building, the housing, everything is still historic. So it has changed hands, obviously, but due to, historical rules, everything kind of has to stay the way it was. And I think that's pretty much like everywhere. So a lot of people have heard like many guests telling of hearing a lady singing the piano to simply turn on when there's no one around and start playing. And in room 932, they call it a room with a boo. No one knows what ghost resides there, but there's plenty of experiences. And the guest asked one time, and this is in a book, says, "Why are you in my room?" And something flew off the table, and the bathroom walls somehow suddenly turned pink. I thought, wow, this was like Amityville Horror.
Wow. It is.
So I was like, I don't know what to believe, but I guess in room 932, you definitely get what you paid for. So
I'll stay there.
yeah. And then you got this, I can't say it's Syrie Mansion. It's just a few miles south and a little over an hour away from, you'll find that in the city of Bethlehem too. It's founded in 1741. This was once a small colonial town, and which is transformed into obviously one of the top destinations for travel. It is one of the oldest sites as well, and they have reported seeing, apparitions, orbs. You'll hear voices. You'll hear people shouting, and yeah, it has a very creepy feel from what I understand reading.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's a lot more that I don't have time for. That
I
place
know,
is
the whole
full
place.
of history and haunt. So it's like I could sit and read them all day. So
Well,
but
just the history back there, right? I mean, with the Revolutionary War and everything else.
yes.
I mean, it's certainly not like Europe where you have stuff that dates back to what 1400, something like that. But this is the oldest part of our country is back in this area. So,
Yeah.
some, yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It's beautiful back there too. So
Yeah.
let's see. I only found one legend, and this one is wild. This is the legend of the Hexenwolf.
The
And it's
Hexenwolf.
Hexenwolf, and it's known as a witch wolf. It's a creature said
Sounds
to be
like
a
my kind of
combination.
dog.
I know. I'm like, I'm there. It's a combination of a wolf and a witch. It has the ability to shapeshift into a human form, and it possesses magical powers. According to the legend, the Hexenwolf is a dangerous creature that preys on unsuspecting travelers in the forests of Pennsylvania. So, there you go.
Wow.
Hexenwolf.
That's, it sounds like my kind of person. Maybe they're talking about me. I doubt
Maybe.
it. Anyway.
So yeah. I hope that you guys enjoyed Bethlehem. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, and I did find some funny laws, a couple of them.
Oh yes, please. What are the laws?
I had to share those because these were pretty funny. For one, you may only buy one package of beer at a time, unless you're at a state-owned beer distributor. It can be kind of problematic.
Beer laws back there. They do.
Yeah. Although Samuel Adams is pretty awesome, I have to say. But yeah, so you can only buy one package of beer at a time. The more than 16 women may not live together in the same house, because then it constitutes as a brothel.
Even though nothing's going on?
Yeah, even though nothing's going on.
Oh, wow.
So, okay. Yeah. And then you may not sleep on the refrigerator outside. I don't know why anybody... Okay, so first of all, I'd be a little worried if you're sleeping inside the refrigerator. Are you alive?
Right.
But what about if it's inside? Is that breaking the law then? I don't know.
Yeah. Weird.
You may not sell cars on Sunday. It's kind of like putting ice cream in your pocket. I don't...
Okay.
And for the last but not least, you may not sweep dirt under the rug.
Damn it.
You can't do it. I don't care who you are.
There
Just
goes
go
my
and drink some of that beer, that package of beer, that one package of beer that you can buy.
Oh my. Darn it. Okay.
That's all I have right now.
Okay. Well, thanks, Messy Jessie. I liked this one. It was fun. The whole dirt under the rug thing is pretty interesting. And I want a Hexenwolf. Yeah. So if anybody finds one, please let me know. I'll buy it from you.
Yeah. I wonder if the Hexenwolf is from the Zinderzins men.
I don't know. There's a lot of German folks in Pennsylvania, so tons of German, and so the German food back there is really good. So
absolutely.
All right, everybody. We'll catch you next week.
Bye.
Bye.